5 more minutes, and we'll be ready to answer all of your questions on Amazon. One more minute and we'll be live. This is the My Amazon Guy live Q&A every Friday at 12 Eastern with Jason Mastromateo.
Welcome to the My Amazon Guy show. Can you hear me all right? I'm filling in for Jason Master Mateo. His internet's out, and I'm joined today with one of our sales account executives, Shawn Henderson. So welcome to our AMA. This is the first AMA I've hosted publicly this year in 2023. So welcome to the show, Shawn.
I'm super excited to be here, and even more thrilled that I get to do it with the man himself, my Amazon guy.
I'm thrilled to be here too. All right. Well, I'm going to have an aquarium behind me, and I'm going to fix my backlit light. I know I'll get people in the comments here. We'll go ahead and dive right in. Just so you guys know who Shawn is, she's been part of our sales team about a year and a half now, and one of our top sales members. So if you like what she has to say today, maybe you'll book a call with her. I don't know. Maybe you'll hire us. Who knows? But we're going to jump into some questions today, and Shawn's going to be my co-host for our session. So what we do is we jump into people who donate to the channel first with the cool stickers coming in from Cool Peeps. One of our super fans on the account will dive there first. Hi, this is a 10,000 max campaign limit per account, which is not a lot, particularly across multiple brands, SKUs, and single keyword campaigns. I know you're going to answer this one, Shawn. This is a technical PPC question. I'm sure you know the answer to this one. And what are your thoughts? How to raise the limit? From my knowledge, there is no solution to this other than deleting and archiving old campaigns. If a PPC expert out there does know the answer to this question, please slam that in a comment, and we'll highlight your answer on the podcast. But from my understanding, it's a hard cap. I also have 10,000 search terms that have yielded at least one sale via PPC. Should I put them in exact match campaign with a lower bid? How many keywords to a campaign? There is no harm in doing that. The question is just how much campaign maintenance do you want to do? And there's probably a scientific way to go about doing this, maybe having some in-depth campaigns with multiple ad groups, because you can't create 10,000 campaigns. You're already at your limit, Cool Peeps. So you're going to have to double up some keyword methodologies there. But typically, like doing a broad match for some of the congruent words, like if you have a campaign structure and you go into the search terms and you type in the word, I don't know, barbecue sauce, and you see that 60% of the words have the word BBQ sauce in the long tail form, you're probably safe to do a broad match on that. You don't need to create 6,000 campaigns with 6,000 keywords. You're probably okay just doing a broad match and getting away with it. And 80-20 rule will apply there. But other than that, you could do some sophisticated, deep campaigns and whatnot. We'll see if we can find one for you, Shawn, here pretty quick early on. I'm going through the list. We're going to prioritize member questions first. We've got quite a few in queue here. John Aspinall taking a break from the Friday show. He's deserved it. Good job there. Taking a nap on company time. I don't know about that.
Company time. How do you feel about that, Stephen?
I don't know about that. Kevin says, good afternoon from Lakeland, Florida. If anybody in the world that I know where they live, it's definitely Kevin Hawthorne, because he says Lakeland, Florida every single time.
I'm not too far from him.
No, you're not. I tried to buy a house down in Florida and I gave up. I couldn't find what I was looking for, so I moved up north.
It's a hot market down here, that's for sure.
Very hot. Very hot. All right, so Shawn, you've been with my Amazon guy a couple of 18 months, 19 months now. What is the biggest thing you've learned so far about selling on Amazon?
That it is not set it and forget it. It's a continual optimization process, right? So, and the biggest thing that I think most sellers aren't familiar with is how to rank organically and how to improve their organic just keywords in general. And it's oftentimes where I speak with other agencies asking me, how do you guys do this? So just building the value of your organic keywords within the copywriting, your alt text, back-end search terms, all those places. That way you can get yourself out of the position where you're having to pay for placement, right? So growing and ranking better. And then the other thing is use that search query report. I cannot tell you enough how valuable the ICAP process is. And it really helps you target, PPC. You can find where conversion is being driven the most and really focus on that. I can't stress enough. Follow that ICAP process that we have with my Amazon guy.
And what does ICAP stand for?
Impressions, clicks, add to carts, and purchases. It's the buying funnel of consumers when they're on your listings.
So be sure to put a feather in your eye cap, so to speak, and make sure you're focused on that market share. Really awesome report over in the Search Query Performance Report. For those that haven't seen it before, maybe I'll do a little demo here and let you guys check it out. Logging in off screen here. Having trouble. Oh, I got to switch accounts here. I'm in the wrong account. That might help. We'll hit the right one here. And I've got to tell you, I've had a lot of fun looking at Search Query Performance Reports and seeing all kinds of cool things. So let's take a look at this.
It really is an eye-opener. I've done the same with other sellers, and they just get so excited when they see, you know, what really is driving conversion and those purchases, not just impressions, clicks, but what's getting consumers to buy.
I mean, check this out. I have a 2% market share on impressions for the term flowers. That's pretty cool. This is the first time I've seen this on the report, to be honest.
And you launched that product not too long ago, right?
Yeah, pretty new product, some Forever Roses. And when I'm seeing, I get a 23% click-through rate. That's an amazing.
That's incredible.
I mean, 1 out of 4 people who see my product are clicking on it. However, my overall market share of all clicks is only 2%. So that basically means I'm seeing 2% of the time. When I'm seeing, I get clicked on 1/4 of the time. Therefore, my actual click-through market share is 2%, which is pretty decent. However, when somebody goes through this process here, you can see that I bump all the way up to an 8% add to cart. That is incredibly high, big jump there coming in from the brand share percentage. That's quadrupling basically. So what that tells me is if I invest in more impressions, I'm going to benefit because the click-through rate's high and my add to cart's high. And that's going to equate, if we scroll all the way to the bottom and go to the right here, to a high purchase rate.
Right.
It looks like my purchase rate's 4%. So I do dip. A lot of people are like curiosity shopping, add some flowers to the cart, and then forget about them. They may not like her that much. You know, they like her enough to put it in the cart, but they, you know, or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe they're, you know, got to find that special product, right? So let's go look over on Amazon. We'll go to my Age of Sage brand store here, and scroll down for my Forever Flowers. So here's the products that we're selling, and you know, we're doing pretty decently. It's, you know, got Amazon's Choice for preserved flowers. We probably need more pictures of women, honestly. We're probably a little shy on that. That's the only picture of people. I don't like that. You gotta do better.
And you know that isn't a pretty woman one of the top most clicked on images on Amazon?
It is.
Know your demographic. We got to get that in there.
All right. So let's say you're taking a sales call right now and you were looking at this listing. What would, you know, feel free to drive here. What would you do? What would you choose?
I would ask them, who is their demographic, right? Who is buying this product more than anybody else? And you need to see that person in your images, right? So it creates a connection with consumers that they don't gain in the e-commerce marketplace. So having your demographic in your thumbnails or even in your A+ content, your brand story, really creates a connection with consumers that they otherwise don't have on the platform.
I'm curious, maybe we should run like a little A/B test while we're on the show today, compare my Forever Roses against somebody else's, see which images they like or dislike. If I had to guess, this is probably my weakest image, or this one of those two. And I'll probably get rid of one of those two and replace it with a more picture of a female that's happy and receiving gifts. Yeah, this is really good.
Absolutely.
Like her right there, where she's got the eye contact with the camera.
Yep.
Really like that shot.
Picture.
That's the shot I probably want to put up here. Right now, she's just kind of an afterthought almost.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you would recommend?
So do you have your brand story there on the module? I didn't.
Yeah, it's not customized. It's just kind of a mix of all the products.
So I would definitely, make sure that you merchandise this product year round. That brand story module can house up to 9,000 characters of alt text, right? So think about that SEO boost. I see you highlighting this, your product grid. Is there something you're wanting to point out here?
Yeah, so we're selling Forever Roses and we're pushing Batman insulated tumblers. What the heck is up with that?
Right.
So I think we need to, Galactic. I don't know if that's the right direction here.
I would put something down there that would be considered like a bundle, right? That can help increase your average order value. So something similar within your catalog should be.
Maybe the Grogu tumbler would be okay.
Yeah. No, I love that one. That would work.
Let's push this one. I'm writing notes on my Slack channel to my designer right now. They'll probably have it fixed by the end of the day.
Multitasking. Maybe women's soap. I think that would be another nice one to add to it.
Pushing the necklace version because
nice.
There's that second option.
Yeah,
Maybe the smudge kit. What do you think? You can be honest. No?
I think he'd probably have more appeal with a soap than.
Okay. So now the question is like which soap, right? So do we want to go fruity or damsel? Not masculine, not galactic. One of these two. Damsel or fruity, you pick.
Oh, now damsel just sings to my heart. I love that. And it goes along with Forever Roses. She's a queen or a princess. I love that.
I knew which one you were going to pick. All right, very good. And not Megapint. Nope. Not Pure Glass.
Maybe in West Virginia, but I don't think, the rest of the world.
All right, which soap did I go with? I went with the old school damsel. Maybe I need to go with the new school damsel as well. Give them two options. So let's go click over to I think this is the new version.
Stephen, I can't stress enough how impactful your branding and your packaging, the change that you made here,
big difference.
It's big, right? And we know that it matches, a similar seller, kind of a similar appearance. And I love it. So I love to see the click-throughs and just the way that you merchandise your products just year-round is really creative.
So two different parentages here. New packaging right here.
Yeah.
And then we have the old packaging here. Both have the same number of reviews, same score. Exact same product, just packaged differently. This one looks more like the artisan feel to it. It actually costs us more to manufacture because we have to hand wrap these suckers.
Oh, wow. No, that's right. You do. That's right.
Yeah, so that's why we charge more for it.
By the way, can I mention if anybody has not had any of these Age of Sage soaps before, I recommend them. They smell incredible, and the lasting scent, it just lasts for so just washing your hands in it. You're welcome, Stephen. That's an amazing. I've got it. I use it regularly. My hands feel silky. The scent though is just amazing. So well done on that, Stephen.
Well, I appreciate it. The number one negative feedback we get is that the scent is overwhelming. So if you like that, we're going to add that as a feature smack dab in the graphics and embrace it. All right, let's dive back into some other questions we've got on the channel here today. And we got about 40 in queue, so we got to start booking it. Let's see what we can do. Cookie says, thank you, you're very welcome. Josh says, happy Friday. Can I increase my capacity limits? Answer is yes. I'm only using standard size, no oversized. Is there any way I can use that space for standard size storage instead? IPS 541. You can't swap between oversized and standard size, but you absolutely can put a request in. Just make sure you justify it and say, hey, I have a new SKU I'm launching. I have such and such a reason, my IPS 540, to try and help with that. The other thing you can do is do a removal order. Nobody likes doing that, especially in July when you're prepping for Q4 and whatnot. Sometimes you have to do that if something's not selling. The other thing you can do is lower some prices and just try and burn through some inventory to increase the churn rate, make some room there. But by and large, right until about Q4 starts, let's say like October 15th is probably the cutoff here, you're probably going to be getting away with running some requests to increase your storage limit, and then they'll probably crack down right around Q4 starts. So do it now, don't wait, don't delay. So I'm using like 1/4 of my standard storage limit, and I have an IPI score similar to that. Shawn, do you hear a lot of people talking about IPI or storage limits on your calls?
It is common. Also, FBA fees. These are things that we can help with. But yeah, it is common to get questions about that.
Josh also asks, my product sells between $5.99 and $14.99. Even though I have NARF, that's the North American Remote Fulfillment Program, could I possibly make more sales if I ship my product FBA to Canada and Mexico? I definitely would not do Mexico until you have done Canada. Test Canada first. If it fails there, it's definitely not going to work in Mexico. I am a big fan of NARF. You'll pull in about another 3% of sales if you do NARF. It's pretty automatic these days, not a whole lot of setup. However, certain categories, grocery and others, you can't do it in. But I would say when you go ahead and ship direct into FBA, you'll get anywhere from a market share of 8 to 13% of your US sales. It kind of depends on which category you're in. Some do better than others. There's more competition, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, if you're selling water skis in Canada, probably not going to do as well as you would in the United States, for example. But if you're selling parkas and it's in December, you probably do have a good time over there up in Canada. Some ice Eskimo fishing and whatnot. All right. Josh also says, currently getting no NARF sales whatsoever. How do you price Canada and Mexico listings in relation to US? I usually raise it 20%, actually. I'm usually 20% higher. So if you're not getting sales, it's probably not a pricing. It's probably not a good fit for you. Unfortunately, probably not going to work. JH says, our lucky day. Is that because I'm here, JH? I think it is. All right. You got Shawn Henderson as well. Kim says, hi, updated to GS1 UPS by duplicate and merge for 5 variations. That is the current best practice right now. Went from 911 legit reviews and variations to 690. Tried to sync review for each. Amazon says all are sharing reviews. How to prove C2. I have screenshots of total before UPC change of total with all variations. That is all I have that I can think of to prove. Such a nice product, niche product rather. It has taken a long time to get to 911. Well, here's the good news. There's probably not a conversion difference between 690 and 911. There is at 1,000 though. So after you get about 90 more, you'll probably feel the pinch a little bit. There is a recovery here. Here's what I would do. I would look at your business report and I would look at the history to see what the sales were on the, like say 6 months ago. Then compare the new ASINs. If the ASIN changed, there's your problem. Go back and try and make sure the merger works on the old and the new ASIN. And then also show Amazon the past business reports. You could also try adding the product of the old ASIN back to the account just to see if it's now correctly attaching to the new ASIN and merged appropriately. What I'm talking about is very technical, may not follow all this. You might need to hire us for a coaching call to check on some of this. And you can always do that at myamazonguy.com/coaching, same day appointments available. But I do believe this would be recoverable for you, Kim. Not a lot of stress. I think you'll be able to recover it. It will probably take you several weeks of ticketing, however. In the meantime, though, it probably won't affect you too much. Chad says, hey, Mag, running into this new error on top ASIN. This manufacturer barcode is linked to more than one ASIN. Please check if you entered the correct product ID, UPC or EAN. No ASIN in the catalog has the same UPC, but I did try and change the UPC by creating a new SKU and merging the two ASINs. So we got a couple people talking about the same thing right now. Person one had issues with review mergers. Person two got issues with now attaching the UPC to multiple ASINs. Chad, first thing I would do is I would back up your catalog, download what's called a CLR report, category listings report, and download that. I'm going to post a link into the chat so you guys can follow that along. Or you could always go over and just simply go to myamazonguy.com and click on that search box. How do I do this? How do I back up something? It'll spit out the actual tutorial. But here's the link. Check that out. Go over to myamazonguy.com, how to back up your catalog. The reason why you want to do this is because it's going to show you the UPC that's in the system currently. And if it spits it out on two ASINs, then you have your solution. There's your problem. Chad, in your particular case, your technical issue is probably a little bit more severe of an issue, and you're probably going to have to do weeks of ticketing to resolve this, just as a heads up. But I would start with the catalog backup and see if the UPC is showing up in multiple places. We do have a dedicated video on how to do all that. Here's all the timestamps, so you can jump to wherever makes the most sense for you. All right, well, we're getting hit with a lot of technical questions to start us off, Shawn. Now I have this issue and seller support isn't helping. Do you ever hear that, Shawn? Do you ever hear isn't seller support the best?
They are so good. They're so good. Sorry.
So good.
My body reacts when I lie.
Yeah, I don't think you can lie very well. Shubhan over on LinkedIn says, hi back to you. All right, so I think we caught up on some member questions here. I think Cool Peeps got a couple more in queue. I have a lot today. Well, we're happy to serve and help.
That's
Appreciate
right.
the donation as well. Do you suggest that we have multiple ad sets in one campaign? Typically, no. But in the case of what you've already explained on the show so far, you have a lot of campaigns already on the account. And in your case, yes. But for the average seller, no. If you're coming up on 8,000 campaigns, I would start stacking the ad groups in one campaign for sure. But if you're nowhere close to that, best practice right now is, one ad group, one campaign, one product. Typical best practice. You can deviate from that. You can experiment from that, but that's the typical standard, the gold standard, if you were. Any suggestion on new ad formats or what we've seen have been working for PPC? So Amazon Video, I think, is going to continue to be pushed. We're now seeing video ads on listings. We're seeing 2 video ads in search results. I would focus on video. If you haven't done an influencer campaign, you haven't hired a TikTok artist, you haven't found an attractive young lady like Shawn to come through and show and tell the products.
Now you're fibbing again.
And unboxing. I would invest there. That will help you out really big time. You're very welcome, Cool Peeps. Always a pleasure to see you join us on the show. Jawaria says, hello. While I was creating my dummy listing on Amazon, I was receiving an error, 8541. I know Shawn's got that one memorized. Below the brand name, how to resolve this error. I need to look this one up. All right, let's look this one up. Error 8541. I probably have a video on it. I just don't remember. I'll even type in 8541, my Amazon guy. Fixed title ASIN conflict. Is that the one? Looks like we have one who made on this. So if this is your issue, let's dive in. I need to share my screen again here. Let's see. I got the wrong screen share.
I got it.
You got it? All right. To answer it. Go ahead, Shawn.
So to fix this error, you need to add specific attributes to the flat file and input the ASIN as the product ID. This will ensure.
Did you use Mag AI to answer?
I might have used Mag AI.
Can you show me how you did that? Because I think others might want to do that too. You beat me to the punch using our own tool.
Oh my goodness.
That's awesome. That's the right answer, by the way.
What's that?
That is the right answer.
Excellent. I use resources that you supply us.
That's awesome. All right, so let's share screen here and entire screen. Okay, I shared the screen right this way. So this is Mag AI right at the top of myamazonguy.com. You can type your question in here anytime. Error 8541. How
That's
to resolve.
Exactly what I did was just error 8541 and it spit it out.
It does take 20 seconds sometimes to process the answer. We've had about 5,000 people test this out. Add specific attributes to the flat file to fix this title error. It is a title error, and this video will probably help you out with that. Input the ASIN as the product ID. Create a ticket to seller support. Save if that doesn't work. So hopefully that's helpful. Great question there coming in from Jawaria. Appreciate that.
Great name too.
Yeah, pretty cool name. Let's go down to Brett. I'm starting my second product. Would like to produce it in Mexico. Having trouble finding a sourcing agent for Mexico. Do you have any sourcing contacts for Mexico? I have a friend who has sourcing contacts in Mexico, but I got to tell you, everybody's talking about how Mexico is going to be the next China manufacturing. I just haven't seen it. I've had major $30 million companies that I consult for try and move their manufacturing from China to Mexico. Like they will have a lease and everything, and then all 3 of them backed out at the last second. They could not get the system built in place. So I am not confident on Mexico sourcing. I am sure there is somebody who's watching this right now. They're like, yeah, I source out of Mexico. It's the best thing ever. I'm sure that's happening. I just personally have not experienced that myself. I'm still going out of China for most of my products at this point. Mohammed says, hope you're doing well. I launched a product on Amazon 3 days ago. Congratulations, by the way.
That's right.
My client gave me a $2,000 budget to run Amazon PPC for the first 2 or 3 months. I would burn that as much as possible in the first month, and you should tell them that you have that plan to do that. Why would I do that? There's this thing called the honeymoon period. Shawn, would you like to explain the honeymoon period?
So the honeymoon period applies to when you launch a new product on Amazon. Amazon gives it added boost, right, to help get you traffic to your PDP. So I would absolutely throw as much of that as possible in your first 30 days. Absolutely.
And you're going to be able to leapfrog some of your additional competitors by putting more sales in the front end versus long end. So more sales up front, bigger impact when you do that. The honeymoon period lasts about 30 to 45 days. It kind of started out as folklore, to be honest, but it's a real thing.
It is.
We also have a course over at Mag School. What do I do after the honeymoon period, the post honeymoon period? And if you're wondering how to do that, we've got the course for you. I'll share my screen here so you guys can take a look at that. It's called the post honeymoon realization. And that's when you know, like, hey, you got married in Vegas and you look at the wife, it's day 45 and you're like, oh, the honeymoon is over. I have to actually live with this person now. I have to live with this product that I've sourced out of China. Come on down to the Mag School and grab this course for $20. We go in depth, tell you exactly what to focus on, how to go about doing that, and whatnot.
Such a small investment with a huge return.
Oh yeah, we lose money giving these courses out.
Absolutely.
It took more to build them, but it's part of our mission. Like, you know, we're an education company. I like to joke that we're an education company that happens to be an agency, not the other way around. Mohammed also says the main keyword is 70K and bids for search volume impressions, I assume. Bids are $2 to $6. Price is $17. Competitor prices vary from 18 to 30. So you're going to come in and win on price, basically, is what I'm reading here. Good strategy. That's how I would do it. What else could you do besides that is you need sales to get sales. And that's what we're talking about, that honeymoon period. So the faster you get sales to begin with, make sure you have all the core. Can you run through the core things you have to do on every listing ever, Shawn?
The core things that you should do on every listing, every time?
Yeah. So like your title, your bullet.
Yeah. So, 5 to 7 images, ideally 6 with a video. Your title should be optimized, especially with a new product. You want to try and pack in as much content, include your brand name, a long tail keyword in the product description. You want to try and get it as close to 200 characters as possible. You need to make sure that your bullets are optimized, right? 250 characters within each bullet. Build out your brand story, add A+ content, build out your alt text too as well. I cannot stress that enough. Your alt text.
Wait a minute, that doesn't index. My alt text doesn't index. Why would I need to
I'll prove that wrong in a second. So all you need to do to test this is put a misspelling or a Spanish keyword.
Spanish is my preference.
Yeah, and put that in your alt text while you're driving your advertising dollars. That's going to index within 24 to 48 hours. It does index. Crawlable text in your A+ content.
What's that? What's crawlable text?
Crawlable text is not built into your images. This is just text that you can copy and paste, right? So it's not built into your images. I also recommend a product grid, packing 250 bytes, not characters, but bytes into your backend search terms.
What's the difference between a byte and a character?
So it's about a 20% difference, right? More content. So 20% more keywords, right?
Why is that?
Why is that? Well, I don't know exactly which direction you're asking me to go here, but
right. So characters count spaces.
Right.
Bytes, according to Amazon, does not count spaces.
Right.
So if you have lots of small words in the search term, don't fret because the spaces don't count. Well, I heard a lot of people talking online the other day about how, I always put big words into my search terms to fill up the maximum number of characters. And I'm like, dude, they don't count spaces. It's bytes. It's bytes, bro. And they were like, what? What are you talking? Whoa, mind blown. 20% extra SEO juice, just like Shawn mentioned. All right, let's go over to Gabriel. I created a listing 6 months ago for my product, but did not add the ASIN to brand registry when I finally got approved. Another brand owner out of Amazon Japan has now taken over it. Well, you've got some road rash, as we like to say, in the Amazon selling degree experience. You don't have to pay for a 4-year degree to sell on Amazon, but you have to pay for expensive mistakes like this.
Yeah.
Got to have your brand registered. So he's got a part 2 here. Let's see the other part. They're not even in the same category as mine. Amazon support hasn't been able to help with the error 8541. Is that the second 8541?
It is the second time.
Interesting, but for a different reason this time. So Gabriel, what I would say to you is make sure the brand node ID is set. I bet you that's the solution to your problem. It probably is not an 8541 situation. It's probably a brand node ID. What's happening is their data on a different trademark phrase of the same brand name is interfering with your brand node. And what Amazon does is they come in and they just like separate them out. And it's like 2 fighting 3-year-olds in a family, right? Okay, you go over to that corner, you go to that corner, and the brand node is split. And then all of a sudden your category is owned by you and they own the other category. It will split you off just fine. So just in your ticketing, ask them to confirm that the brand node ID has been set and separated specific to your category. I bet you that will resolve your issue. And the good news is this one's actually not complicated. This one's a simple fix. So 1 ticket and 5 days later, you might be fully up and running. So let me know how that goes for you, Gabriel. Please do return and report. We'd love to hear about it.
Hey, Stephen, this is a common question that I get when I meet with potential clients and sellers, having their listings suppressed when they're not brand registered. And it's
gotta be brand registered.
You do.
Did you guys know we have filed more than 2,000 trademarks at my Amazon guy? Like that's a lot of trademarks. And there's like, I'm not a legal expert. I just was like, man, everybody and their dogs needs a trademark. So we started to offer the service. You can get your trademark assessment for free today. Just go to myamazonguy.com/TM, stands for trademark. And we'll give you a free trademark assessment, let you know whether we think it's viable or not. If you want to file it with it at that point, cost is $9.25. Here is all of the file marks and all of the information about this. It's going to save you money because the IP accelerator is about $1,600. We're only $9.25. That includes the filing, the trademark search, and all of the USPTO filing fees. By the way, if you already have one brand, you're like, I don't need another trademark. You probably actually will at some point. So just file this in your need to know for next year when you launch that second brand or that new product that's for men and your original brand's for women. And you're like, well, it probably wouldn't make sense to put my beer glasses under the brand name Momster. And then you start making a second brand, etc. So something to check out, myamazonguy.com/TM to get your trademark, and we'll help you out. All right. Yusuf says, I cannot comment. Yes, you can, clearly.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yusuf?
Yeah, we see you. We see you. Trying to create a shipping plan, but I'm confused about which option I have to choose in the packing information. There are 2 options. Everything will fit in one box or multiple boxes will be needed. All right. So let's see if I can demo this. If you were selling, let's say 1,000 of these like this, and you're going to ship 1,000 of these into Amazon, whatever you do, first of all, box it yourself before you send it into Amazon. Because if you have Amazon do the prep work, they'll put bubble wrap on it. They'll slam the ASIN sticker on for you. No problem. But then this 5-pound bottle of hot sauce will be shipped out in padded envelopes. So I really recommend boxing it before you send it into Amazon. Otherwise, you're going to experience some not so fun times. You'll pay your Amazon tax like I did. Anyway, so to answer your question,
you got road rash on that too,
Steven. I have a lot of road rash in general. I have to. That's why that's why I sell lotion cream as part of my Age of Sage Mom Box. Gotta cream up those rashes. All right, so what you should do is if you have multiple products like this hot sauce that is going to ship in a case pack. Let's say the case pack is 48 strong for whatever reason. So you have 48 of these in one master case. You're going to say if it's one case, you have one case and 48 units, that'll be one box, one case box. Now, if you have 96 of these, you're then going to say multiple boxes, 2 cases, and then each case will have its own label, and you'll pay for that shipping box. But then each individual unit is inside of that case. So during those shipping screens, you will see the option to put case and the actual box count inside of the case, and you'll be just fine. But Yusuf, in your particular case, I have a course for $10, and it is called the Amazon FBA Logistics course. I guarantee you this will pay for itself to answer your question in depth with step-by-step. Check that over at mag-school.com. The FBA Logistics course will answer this question and tell you how to go through every single step of creating a shipment on Amazon. And we'll throw you a certificate so you can show your employer or your spouse or whoever else you like to show the certificates to that you are qualified to make a shipping plan.
Those certificates.
Shawn, how many Mag School course certificates do you have?
I believe because you're always launching new ones, right? So I wish I could say I have them all, but you're constantly coming out with new stuff, right? So I'm trying to keep up.
What do you got? The PPC one, and you got the SEO one.
SEO catalog course, PPC. I've done all of those, and I can't stress enough, especially that SEO course. When I finished it, I had a true aha moment afterwards. And it's just, I mean, it's very valuable stuff in those courses.
All right. No Chaw says, any thought on AMC and Amazon Marketing Cloud? I have none whatsoever. If anybody has thoughts on the Amazon Marketing Cloud and your own experiences, feel free to throw it in the comments and tag No Chaw so he can learn from more. All right. So Shawn, why don't you ask me a question? What questions do you have for me, Shawn?
Oh, this is so what's the next course that's coming out, Stephen?
Well, we've got the My Amazon Guy Success Academy, and that's something that we're selling to try and hit a new audience. So if you're already an Amazon seller, you already got 20, 50K in sales, you're probably a good fit for a full service at My Amazon Guy, SEO, PPC, design, catalog. But if you're aspirational, you've been paying attention to us and you're just like, man, I really need to get into this Amazon game. We launched the My Amazon Guy Success Academy. This is a brand new program, and this is built for aspirational sellers. You guys can learn more about this at myamazonguy.com/success. And let's see. Hold on. Did I type that in right? Success. Here we go. So, you should buy my course because I drive a Lambo, clearly, right? And that means I know what I'm talking about or something. I don't know, vroom, vroom. In any case, so there's 3 different tiers that we're offering right now, and we're just about to close this off for the current cohort. So if you want to sneak in, you can. Self-study program or an accelerator program, it's done with you. And then finally, a done for you. We actually had 3 people sign up last night for the Business Builder program, where we'll take a SKU, we'll source it for you, and do everything soup to nuts and help you out. So this is what we've been working on of late. Because we're an education company, I've been trying to figure out how to invest deeper into info products. And the accelerator program, you get connected with me in Slack, and we'll talk to you about it, and we'll give you all kinds of training and SOPs and stuff. The done for you, though, you don't have to worry about anything. It's just send us a check, and we'll take care of everything. Launch everything step by step. Usually a 6-month program there because it takes that long just to ship stuff from China over to the United States, including samples and everything in between. So that's what I'm working on right now. What else you got?
Another one. So what should sellers focus on in 2023?
CTR. Choose the right. No, click-through rate. And click-through rate is the most important thing to focus on in 2023. Why? Because it's the absolute easiest thing to improve.
That's right.
And we've talked about this on LinkedIn and all kinds of YouTube videos. You can follow our friend John Aspinall, who's making a CTR post every single day. We have an in-depth guide over at myamazonguy.com/hack. And I'll just give you a little bit of a taste of this. But basically, CTR is improved by the ability to click through the product, the main image, if you were, and that ability is incredibly important. And that's because if somebody doesn't know what your product is when they see it in the search result, they're never going to click on it. So adding more information to the main image is incredibly important. You also have the ability to show accessories or counts. Maybe you sell a supplement, you can show like what is inside of the supplement, all that good stuff. So if you got like a little extra thing you send with it to show it's a BBQ caddy, maybe you want to put the keyword mom box on it. I rank #1 SEO for mom box because of that word. Look at the yellow journal. Man, I didn't even know it was for kids before, but now I understand what's inside of it. Oh, and it's for kids 6 through 12, right? So having these focal points is extremely important. I really like the supplement ones right here where you can see like the powder and blow that cupcake up, stuff like that. Show the cream, show what it does, show the coconuts because that's what the product comes from. Show the packaging with photos of actual people using the product. Lots and lots of examples all over at myamazonguy.com/hack. I have a VA. I have your SOPs. Can she basically train herself by going through them? Absolutely. Yes. And that's the great thing about our SOPs. They're self-directive. They're all inclusive. And we also have videos that can supplement that if they get stuck. But they're all up to date. Over 450 SOPs are for sale right now over at myamazonguy.com/SOP. We have been a little salesy on this podcast today, but it has been germane to the questions I've been asked. And each of these is a different product offering for different people. This is for the Amazon seller that wants to deliver it over to their VA and give them a leg up. Like, hey, I don't have time to train you. Just take Stephen Pope's SOP library, 450 up-to-date active SOPs. And if you're going to spend thousands of dollars on PPC, one technique in the PPC SOP is going to pay for this right there. So check that out, myamazonguy.com/SOP.
Steven, you're giving away our secrets.
Somebody, it was really funny. Like a former employee was like, "Oh, my Amazon guy's going down. They're selling the roof." I'm like, no, I'm an education company. This has always been in the grand scheme.
That's right. Right. We're not going anywhere.
And the people, the #1 purchaser of the SOP program has been my competitors, the agency competitors. But it's not me against you, other Amazon agency. It's all of us against the Amazon. That's my brand position. So it is on brand for me to share all of my SOPs, share how we do everything. And what I know is that by doing so, I'm going to make more money. Like, I know that by adding value to the world like this, I actually make more money. It's incredible. It's an incredible concept. You build content and you share value and you share knowledge and it comes back around. So, and that's exactly what Amazon sellers should be doing, right? Like,
I agree.
Put as much content as you can on that listing and really teach everybody what they can. Claudio says, where can I see CTR of other sellers in my category? The bad news is you really can't see very much. There's 2 locations you can check out. The first is the old school Brand Analytics. They will show you the top 3 ASINs with the highest click-through rates. That's not going to show you the category level though. And for that, you'll have to go over to a different report to see the category level CTR. I actually forget the name of it off the top of my head, but it might be the product discovery reports. Somebody can correct me in the comment section. And you can look at the baselines for categories in that section. So check that out. Rubius on LinkedIn says, keep it up. Good work, sir and ma'am. Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Very nice.
Working on launching a UK brand that does well on Amazon UK. Can the storefront or listings be cloned from the UK site, or do we have to build them on Amazon US? Good news is you can clone them. The bad news is I probably wouldn't do it. I think you're better off writing them from scratch, but load the UPC or EAN so that the reviews will connect over for you. The one downside to this, though, is if you have an electronic product and you're trying to differentiate the US electric watts versus the UAE, EU wattage issues, the differentiation in plugs, some of the technical information might bleed over between countries. I still think the net benefit overrides that negative, though. I would highly recommend go ahead and do the UPC or EAN load just to share the reviews there. But I don't like the clone feature. I don't like the data being connected because sometimes it pushes over bad or erroneous data. To do that, you can go over to the global selling tab of Seller Central and global accounts and click a couple buttons. and you'll be off to the races there. All right, Shawn, what's your favorite thing about working at My Amazon Guy?
I get to work from home, and more than anything, I get to meet people all over the world, right? And help people. It is us against Amazon. So I love to see the way that we help people build their brands. And I'm talking about their livelihood. So I'd love to see our successes. We've tripled in size, more than tripled in size since I started.
What were you, like employee, like 100, something
112,
like that?
112. Yeah. And at the time we had 117 brands that we managed. We're now at over 400 employees and over 350 brands managed.
That is a lot. How in the world do we possibly do that when most agencies top out at 40?
Well, because of the man behind the mic.
I think it's just because of the system, right? Like it's the systems approach, and the way that we define leadership at MAG is everybody has to replace themselves constantly. And that's the best way to build a scaling system. If you want to join us, let's say, you're a VA, or maybe you're an Amazon brand seller out there, but you can't scale enough to pay your bills. You want to put all that money back into the brand. We want to hire you as a brand manager. Check us out at myamazonguy.com/jobs. You can join our team today, fill out an application in moments. We'd love to support you. We were the 334th fastest growing company in the United States. And we got lots of testimonials, videos. I went down to Mexico. I went over to the Philippines. I love meeting everybody worldwide. We are a worldwide company. No matter where you are, you can find jobs in every market, US and Canada jobs there, international jobs here. There are evergreen listings. We are always hiring because we're always freaking growing. About 8% month over month, every single month.
Incredible.
Without fail. So it's been a good ride so far. All right, Verege, I don't know how to say that. How to scale the first products. My product landing costs $18. I sell it $60, $70. That's about right, about triple the COGS, not bad. How to scale it, brother. I've sold 1,000 units in 1 year. That's pretty good, congratulations. However, I need help with scaling because I have a cash flow crunch. Shawn, what would you advise?
Need to scale. What's the cash flow crunch? Does he have
inventory? He's probably tied up in inventory, would be my guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is he's tied up in inventory. So I would.
What are his like levers? What levers can he pull? Should he raise his prices? Should he go for profit? Should he find an investor? Like, what lever would you recommend?
Possibly raising prices. I'm not sure. I'm going to volley this back to you.
All right. So there is no wrong answer to this question, in my opinion. It is, what are your goals is the answer, right? Because if your goal is to hit $1 million per month, you know what has to be done about that, right? Trying to grow 10% every year is actually a harder thing to do than to try and grow 100% every year, right? And that's because there's just a sheer mentality shift of what you're going to be trying to accomplish and what you're going to be doing to scale. So if you're getting marginal growth right now, that mentality shift to go super deep and go long and try and go the extra mile and double the business requires a very different skill set, mentality, people you're going to hire, investments you're going to make, financing that you will require, and all of the operations that goes behind the scenes. So I would do this. If I was a business owner trying to figure out my roadmap, I would take my current org chart and I would put that on the left. I would then hide it from my vision. And then on the right, I would make a new org chart. And this is the one that I think I will need in 365 days. I will then have two org charts side by side. I'll show both of them visibly, and I'll say, okay, here's where I am. Here is where I need to go. And then make decisions on how to go from point A to point B. You could do the same thing with your product offering. In 1 year, I want to be at 17 products. Today, I'm at 3. Cool. That means I need to source 15 new products, 14 new products. Here's how I would do that. We all know that for every 3 products that Stephen Pope launches, 1 of them fails, 1 breaks even, and 1 goes gangbusters. So always be launching 3 and roadmap out accordingly. Great question.
I'd love to offer a free ASIN review for him too as well. So reach out to me on LinkedIn, shoot me an email, Shawn@myamazonguy.com.
And Shawn with an H, S-H-A-W-N.
That's right, S-H-A-W-N. So send me your ASIN. I'll do a free review for you.
We'd love to do that. And Shawn's going to shoot a video going through in depth on your listing and tell you what you need to do.
Absolutely.
Matthew says, how do you actually download a backup flat file of an existing ASIN? So this is something we've actually already addressed on our show today. That is the CLR report, the category listings report. So if you go type in CLR backup, My Amazon Guy into Google, or you go over to myamazonguy.com and type into Mag AI, how do I back up my catalog? You'll get this report right here, and that will go into detail. It will show you everything you need to know. And says Mag AI might be down. Maybe we've got an issue with Mag AI. Let's go over to My Amazon Guy and see if it's loading up. Looks fine to me. Sorry you had a little trouble there. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to get Shawn back on screen here. Which one of these buttons do I need to hit?
Here I am.
I'm trying to get like the screen share plus the question. That is the best they got. All right, whatever. But yeah, so backing up the CLR report, that's the way you need to do it. The first time you do this, you will be filing a ticket to get access to the CLR report. That does take a few hours before you get access, as a heads up. All right, let's see where we are in the queue here. Scrolling down. Hello, dudes and dudettes. Hello. Discuss about suppliers and wholesalers. Well, so my friends over in Pakistan like to do drop shipping. This model they are very good at. However, I believe this model has peaked, and there are too many drop shippers now because it's so easy to do. So my recommendation is to get into private label and build your own brand. So when you're talking about suppliers and wholesalers, my recommended course of action is to think about to yourself, like, what am I a world leading expert on? And if it's keeping myself clean and making scenty soaps, then make a soap. If it's making the tastiest barbecue sauce in the world from scratch, then sell a hot sauce. If you don't know what you're good at, you probably shouldn't do this. And you should probably be a marketer instead and sell somebody else's products. But if you want to sell on Amazon, you need to be an expert at something. And so I was a leading chess national expert growing up. I played in national chess tournaments, international chess tournaments. And so if I wanted to sell chess sets, I would know everything there is about chess sets. And I would look like a chess player. I could throw some glasses on and take some pictures and do all those fun things and click my chess clock and slam my chess pieces down. And I would know that the queen starts in her own color. And when I take my photos of my chessboards, right, I would know all that stuff by heart. But if you don't have a product that you're an expert in, you're going to have a big trouble, right? If you try and sell a supplement, you're competing against chemists who know supplements and the actual chemistry behind them. It's going to be a lot harder. So the first thing I recommend doing is sticking to what you know and understand. And then after that, then use data to back it up. And if you do it in that order, you'll have the best opportunity for success, in my opinion. All right, let's go to the next question. Healthy Hindu says, is sales going down on Amazon because I'm seeing a big dip after Prime Day? Completely normal. This is called the July slump. Why else do you think they put Prime Day right in the middle of the worst month of the year for Amazon sales?
Christmas in July.
Ew, yeah, it is Christmas in July, but there's no 45-day lead up to it.
No.
It's just a simple blip on the radar. Prime Day was really great this year, to be fair. But it is completely normal to lose some sales right after Prime Day. Shawn, what did you buy for Prime Day?
What didn't I buy, Stephen? That's the question. As a matter of fact, I have deliveries coming today.
God bless the trash man that takes those brown boxes away, right?
I do recycle everything. I do.
There is no recycling where I live nowadays, believe it or not. Yeah, I know. All right. I use your replenishment alert concept, 6 weeks, send 30-day supply strategy. Does that strategy change for Q4? It most likely will. For most sellers, you want to go a little bit heavier. An extra 2 weeks supply will probably do justice. Yep. Send in a 6 week supply, maybe an 8 week supply, depending on if you have a runner or you have something that you know does well year over year. Use the past data to predict future, but also keep in mind that Amazon runs out of space at FBA and then they shut it down so you can't ship more crap in. Usually right around, I don't know, November 1st, October 15th, somewhere in that time frame. So if you haven't shipped your Christmas stuff in by October 15th, just be prepared to be let down and be prepared to be burned for a third year in a row, because that's what's happened the last 2 years. Ship your stuff in now and pay an extra storage fee and get it in there. Let your IPI take a minor hit. It's probably the right thing to do. Matthew says, we have a child variation out of stock. They used to show up as grayed out and show out of stock. Now they're just removed altogether. They don't show as variation. Any workarounds for this? So anytime you have a variation out of stock on a parentage, it will default show the older brother on the listing. So if you have two soaps selling on the listing, one goes out of stock, it will not show up, and the other ones will display. If, however, you enable a feature called, what do they call this feature? Is it the in-stock, get ahead, something like that. There is a feature, and it might be in the FBA settings off the top of my head here. And if you enable that, it will still show up, and you can take what's kind of like a pre-order, if you were. And I don't like it. I don't recommend that, because your conversion rate will go like a fifth of what it normally is. Get ahead, stock, something like that. I'm trying to find the FBA setting for this right now. I'm not seeing it at the top of my screen here, so I won't pull it up on screen here. But if you enable that, you can sell while it's out of stock because you're restocking it. I don't recommend it though, Matt. I think you should let it be out of stock, honestly. How to plan PPC budget when launching a low price item. Shawn, you got any thoughts on this one?
How to launch a PPC.
What tacos do we normally recommend, Shawn?
Say again. Oh, tacos, we average between 8 and 15%.
And if you're on the 15% side, you're aggressive. If you're on the lower side, you're going to be probably losing some market share. So usually, I would say the average, like dead heat, 11 to 12% is a good target. When you're launching a new product, though, you'll probably be 30% tacos month one.
That's right.
And then have to work your way downward from there. And on a low price item, it might be even worse. But here's my pricing guide. You can go to myamazonguy.com/price to check this guide out. And you can see here how I would answer this question. I would launch the item at a low price to begin with. It's going to be cheaper to do that than to spend the money on PPC. You'll have happier customers who will leave better reviews as well. And then and get to your target price by about week 8. Similarly, I do this on the tacos, week 1, 50% tacos, trying to get closer to that 15% tacos by week 12 and getting below that over time as able and as possible. One fun fact to keep in mind, every 3 PPC sales you have is going to generate, let me redo that. Every 1 PPC sale you have is going to generate 3 SEO sales over about 6 months here. And I do not have any data to back up that claim whatsoever. That is just my experience and my estimation. So feel free to take that for what it's worth. We do have a lot of pricing strategy guides and videos over at myamazonguy.com/price. You can even see how I sold 500 units on accident at a low price and forgot to check on my unit. And it actually worked. It solved my problem. And then all of a sudden my item started selling again. Who would have thought? Just lower the price. And sometimes you get a boom. Lowering price for 10 or 15 days can sometimes make the biggest difference, or launching at a lower price can make the biggest difference when you're doing this. All right, we got a couple more comments coming in from Matthew here. So thanks, Stephen. I told my client if he would just give me more inventory for Amazon versus his D2C website, keep it in stock, we wouldn't have to worry about the variation issue. That is a true statement. Ship more into FBA. And you might even convince him that he could ship out of FBA at a discount using multi-channel fulfillment orders.
Yeah.
Cardinal sin 1 and 2. What is cardinal sin 1? Do you know, Shawn?
Never stock out.
And what is cardinal sin 2?
Never stock out.
That's right. That's correct. I was curious. Sometimes I say things and you never know if people around me at MAG pick them up. But that one's a good one, right? Yeah. Cardinal sin 2 is like cardinal sin 1. No, seriously, never go out of stock. You can't do that. It's really, really bad. Can you also calculate the average CTR for a keyword through the SQP report, not for your competitors, but only for your own products? It'll show your market share down to the ASIN level or the brand level, depending on what you like to do. Frostax says, how do you send into the US? Do you use a specialized carrier that books deliveries into Amazon? No, we basically go cheapest rate possible. I've heard horror stories of Amazon's logistics program. I don't recommend it. I've heard people say good things. I've also heard horror stories. So mixed results to be expected. Normally what we do is we call, don't use a website to get carrier quotes. Call and ask for the most up-to-date quote, because the websites are aggregating info and it's going to be 20% higher on the website than when you make that phone call. So that tip just probably saves somebody $500 right there. Hopefully that helps you. Some sellers, especially third-party sellers who use Seller Central accounts, have a little idea about how the Amazon detail page policy works. It'd be great if you could elaborate something about this. Shawn, I'm going to toss it to you. Give your thoughts first. What do you know about the detail policies? Do we tell people to read Amazon's T&C and spend 10 hours reading Amazon help files, or do we do something else instead? Here's my thought. I like to do whatever that's going to help the customer, right? Do your entire detail page with the customer in mind. Put your main image together if it helps the customer. Forget the policies. Just help the customer. Why do I say this? Because the Amazon policies aren't even followed by Amazon.
That's right.
So why spend any time trying to do what they tell you to do, even when they don't do it, right? And we could look at brand after brand, Colgate, Dawn, all of these soap brands, HP printers, all of them break all of the detail page rules. Every single one of those brands do. So my policy is just help the customer. All right, so Shawn, did that ring a bell? How do you think about that answer?
I love that answer. I love that answer.
All right, so we're coming up on the end of our show here. So let's go. We'll answer a couple more questions. Before we do that, Shawn, what is your favorite thing about selling on Amazon, being in e-commerce, besides working from home in your pajamas on occasion?
I'm not in my pajamas, Steven.
You wearing a t-shirt. I know. You got the mag shirt on. I learned about I was going to be doing the show 2 minutes before we went live. So.
Well, this is my uniform. This is my work uniform. Ask me your question again.
But what do you like about, selling on Amazon, working at Mag, seeing the success stories? What do you like?
It's the #1 most visited website in the United States. #1. Right?
First place somebody starts a product search.
For everything. It's the
All right, name one good. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Name one thing that Amazon does right.
So the thing that I love about Amazon is private labels can compete with enterprise brands. That's what I love about Amazon. A lot of folks think I can't compete with, all these big enterprise. That's not true. You absolutely can. You may not have the ad budget they have when you start off, but they're typically not working their organic keywords and optimizing their listings because they can rest their, all of their sales on their brand name. They've got recognition, right? People know that. That's what I love about Amazon is you can still compete with those enterprise brands. That's what I love.
I love that too. And you never hear about a Walmart native born brand, do you? Okay? And that's because Walmart's marketplace cheats the system and puts their in-stock, in-store items above somebody launching natively on the Walmart platform in the search engine. But on Amazon, they don't care about in-store. They were created as a digital marketplace. So you can compete against all of these elite brands and have a better listing and answer your customer questions better and have a better experience and package it better and do all these things and actually win. And we've done that for thousands of brands. So, all right. So if anybody wants to get in touch with My Amazon Guy today, you guys want to hire us for full service, you can send an email over to Shawn@myamazonguy.com. That's Shawn with an H, SHAWN @myamazonguy.com. You can talk to Shawn today. She's got same day appointments available. We'd love to help you out and launch your brand. Shawn, what are our core services? What are the 4 things we do for everybody?
The core services. So we drive traffic through organics and advertising. Our complete optimization is a continual process. Oh gosh, you would ask me this.
We got traffic on. Now go over to conversion.
Sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part of
This is Shawn's first show, so she's
hold on. No, it's not. Hold on, Stephen, I was gonna get it. Come on. Advertising, platform management, optimization, search engine.
Yeah, so and then design and catalog management. So if you guys want to talk to Shawn today and give her a pat on the back for her first live show with My Amazon Guy, she did great, didn't she?
I want to do this more often too.
If you guys go back and look at Jason Mastromateo's first show, it was a deer in the headlights, and look at him now. So everybody has to start somewhere. All right.
Isn't it nice to have someone with hair on one of these meetings?
Yeah, the difference between all the nice white bald men.
Just saying.
All right. Well, good to have you on, Shawn. Thanks for being with us. That is the My Amazon Guy podcast today. You can learn more by going to myamazonguy.com. We do a show 3 times a week: Tuesdays, PPC AMAs; Wednesday, ASIN Review Live with John Aspinall; and Friday, Ask Me Anything, Anything Goes with Jason Mastromateo. I was your fill-in host today. My name is Stephen Pope, and I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. And our guest host today is Shawn Henderson, one of our sales account executives at My Amazon Guy. We'll see you later. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye, everyone.